Hey folks, welcome back to TheByteBit. So this is the first video in a series that I'm putting together that's going to focus on the PowerShell Studio 2018 IDE. So the IDE being the integrated development environment, it's basically a tool that'll help you to write your code. In this case, the PowerShell Studio is an IDE that'll help you create your PowerShell scripts, the command line scripts, help files, commandlets, functions, all of that good stuff, along with creating and designing your Windows Forms-based GUI applications, again with the PowerShell language being the back-end driving force. Now, for those of you that are new to PowerShell or new to the PowerShell Studio IDE, I think you guys will get the most out of this series, because my intention is to sort of relay or kind of showcase the knowledge that I've gleaned or gained over the years, and hopefully help you guys get to a foundation where you can start writing your scripts or designing your GUI-based applications right away, which I think is what you guys are intending to do from the start. Now, PowerShell, made by a company called Sapien PowerShell Studio, which is made by Sapien, does have a YouTube channel, which I'll link below. Has a bunch of videos and nuggets out there that you can take a look at, which I think is helpful. More importantly, which we'll go over in detail as well during these series, the video in the series, is the support forums. They are invaluable. In fact, if you have any issues or problems, which invariably will come up as you're writing your code, you can reach out to post in the forums, and the folks there are super helpful. They'll sort of bend over backwards to kind of get you some resolution or some kind of answer, so that this way you can kind of get a workaround or a solution and get back to coding your application. So definitely do check that out. I'll also link that in the description below. Now, PowerShell Studio is a paid application, and well, I should also add that Sapien is not aware of who I am, apart from maybe answering some silly questions in the forums. They're not sponsoring these videos in any shape, but PowerShell Studio is a paid application, and that could be a point of contention for many of you folks, which I totally understand. So what hopefully might help is that you can install the demo version or the trial version for 30 days, I believe, kind of get a feel for the application, look at the series that I'm presenting, maybe even the videos from YouTube or blog posts, and especially if you have a job or responsibilities that entail PowerShell, or any of the Microsoft applications that depend on PowerShell or could be helpful with PowerShell, I think you would kind of look to investing in the IDE, because I think it's going to help you on a day-to-day basis. It'll help you write code faster, get you more clout and sort of higher stance in your organization, more important that way, which I think is helpful for everybody, and invest in the application and the cost of it. So hopefully these videos help you guys out, and if you have any questions or comments, please do let me know, or if there are any particular areas that you'd like to focus more on, certainly let me know that, and I can try to shift if possible. And please like and subscribe if these videos are helpful. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and start by looking at the version information first and how we can get to that, and then we'll follow up by looking at the start page and what it has to offer, only because it's sort of presented to you every time you open up the IDE, so it's worthwhile kind of knowing what information it has to offer. If I take the mouse over to the top right here and I hover over the About icon, you'll see a little balloon pops up letting me know. And if I invoke the window, here's the About window here. It does have some information you can kind of, take note of, but most of it you won't really need on a day-to-day basis, except for maybe the version information, which is right here. Two reasons come to mind that I think might be helpful or might be needed. The first one is knowing the version you're currently running allows you to kind of just be aware of any updates that are available. So for instance, I know that I'm running 155 or .155. Here is the bulletin from the news feed. And obviously, if you're not running this version, you can click on the link, get details about it, see what it adds, the change log, if you will, and decide if it's a release you want to upgrade to. The other reason why I think the version information might be helpful is not something you'd invoke every day, but again, a good FYI, is that the Sapien Technologies licensing, I guess, terms for PowerShell Studio is for 1 year. And during that 1 year term, you can install and apply any and all updates that they make publicly available. However, after that year ends, if you do not renew your license, any subsequent release or version that they put out won't be available to you. In fact, your license key will only work for those releases in that calendar year. Or the year, the 365 that you have paid for. So it's just something to be aware of. Again, not something you'd use on a day-to-day basis, but important nonetheless. So I'll click OK and come back to our start page. And our start page, actually, I think for those of you that are starting out, is going to be pretty helpful. One, because it does have a few links at the top here that I think is worth taking a look at. Excluding the Facebook and Twitter links, which if you'd like to connect to, you can certainly do so. But here, the middle one is actually their main website. Clicking on it will bring you the browser up, take you right to sapien.com, and you can get to whatever information you need to look at. The recent forum posts, anything from my account or Muse. And of course, they do make other software titles or software applications. So if you're interested in looking at that, you can certainly do so as well. The link to the left of that is, I believe, what's most important. It's the actual scripting support page for all your PowerShell needs. That includes just Windows PowerShell in general, the GUI forms, VB script, and other languages. Here you can go ahead and post all your questions or issues or whatever concerns you may have and get help from the team. I'd also recommend, kind of just referencing these forms from time to time. I think this is one of the best ways to kind of learn about, one, not just the limitations of the application, but the possibilities, right, or the features. The IDE is quite in-depth and involved, so you may not be aware of certain features that the application has to offer. And instead of reading through, a 500-page manual or trying to just click and kind of figure out the application, which you can do, this is just a quick reference point where you can kind of learn about the features and even the bugs and issues that are affecting others. Kind of, increase your knowledge base in general. So I'll close this out. And the link to the left of that is the product support page, basically where you can get your premium support, you can get your end-user license information if you'd like to read that, their Sapien YouTube videos, etc. Again, may not come here every day or every month, but it is nice to kind of have all in one place that you can access. Now, you may already have their support forms on your browser as a quick link or in the bookmark section just because you might visit it often or you work extensively with PowerShell Studio, so you may already have a way of getting there. But I think as a starting point for folks that are new, I think this is very helpful. It gets you to where you need to go. All right, the recently opened and the recent projects may be empty for you or blank if you just started out using PowerShell Studio, if this is the first time you're installing the app. I've actually set this test environment up so you can see that I've got a bunch of different links here. There's one to PSFs or the forms, a GUI application. There's links to PS1s, which is the PowerShell script type of project or script. And under the recent projects, you have the same thing, the name of the projects that are available. They'll also provide the dates that modified the script or GUI application, along with links to the folders themselves, your Explorer window, that you can actually click on and bring up the home folder where the script or application resides. The news feed, which I've gone over briefly, again, I think is worth glancing at every once in a while. If there are new videos from the team that they've put together on their YouTube channel, releases for other applications that are linked to PowerShell Studio, or even updates to PowerShell Studio itself will be presented here, including any blog posts or you can have the tours as you see here, the PowerShell or the Sapien Technologies Europe tour will be linked. So I think it's worthwhile glancing at. May not be super helpful on a day-to-day basis, but necessary all the same. So the start page itself is a tab page that you can see here. Obviously, if you have other pages open, in fact, I'll just open up a quick page here. You can see that I've got the start page and then my other scripts that I'm working on. Obviously, you can close this out, especially if you're working on a project that has multiple pages, which is very likely if you are creating a involved application for your team or for yourself. So you can go ahead and close the start page at any point, and if you'd like to bring that up, they'll provide a way to do that right from the main home menu here, the ribbon menu. Click on start page, pops right up, and then you can get to the information that you need to. I've actually sort of turned this into a muscle memory for me, so what I'll do is when I'm working on a page and I need to post a form question or do a quick search, I'll really just start the page up, click on the support link, and then go about my business, either posting the question or the problem, or even just looking to see if somebody else had already done so in the past. So that pretty much covers the start page. Again, when we go over the settings menu or the options for the application, we'll take a look at how to disable this permanently, so this way it doesn't pop up for you every time you start the app. But again, if you are starting out, it might be worthwhile having and using until you get more comfortable and familiar with the IDE. Alright, so that should cover it for this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I will be going over this bottom section here in the next video, including some of the panels here and the windows and why you would want to have all or none depending on your particular type of workflow. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.